All right, guys, moving on.
Anthony Edwards said he does not want visitation rights for the kid that he accidentally had with Aisha Howard. Now, Aisha Howard is an adult content creator, and she's probably an embarrassment to be with. And he probably got caught up and did not mean to actually impregnate this woman. And he encouraged the woman to have an abortion, Y, and Z. And this guy is learning a hard lesson about why some kind of fun is not always the best fun. And apparently you hear stories like this all the time about NBA players. Like, they use the least amount of protection, X, Y, and Z, put themselves in compromising positions. And I bet you there are definitely a number of undocumented children that have been born in X, Y, and Z. But this girl is an adult creator. She wants the clout. She wants the attention. And she's probably putting this guy through a really, really hard time.
All right, so Anthony Edwards is an American basketball player. Professional basketball player, right? He plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but he's currently right now most popular for getting this chick pregnant. This is Aisha Howard, who is very well known for dating him, but also known for being an adult entertainer. Long story short, people's opinions when it comes to this situation are very split. On one hand, he was very clear and let her know, hey, if you bring this child into the world, this child won't have a father. However, she chose to keep the baby. And so, who's in the wrong? We're going to talk more about that here. Let's keep listening.
And he now doesn't even want to be in the kid's life. And I don't know if he's just so ashamed of the situation he wants to pretend it didn't happen, or if this woman is toxic as F and is going to be using this kid and has already used this kid as leverage. Now, to be clear, Anthony does want to support financially, but he just wants no interaction. And you know what? Sometimes you got to protect your peace. Now, I don't know exactly why he doesn't want to see his personal kid, if he's going to wait till they're old enough or this or that. And I'm sure he's going to get heavily criticized, but we cannot ignore how much it plays a part, how toxic and how messed up maybe the adult creator was, Aisha. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think he's a piece of crap? Do you think he has his reasons? Do you think the girl used him? Apparently, she tried to file child support in California just because it's worth more, even though she's from Atlanta. So she's up to something. But I want to know what you guys think. And keep in mind, too, that Drake had a child with a star and claimed the child, right? So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section, and follow me for more content like this.
All right, so that's the conversation right there. And if we scroll down here, we're going to read a few of these comments. Top comment here says, it's not an awful situation. Feel so bad for the baby, but Aisha was calculated in her efforts to secure her check. If you're wondering and saying, well, how do you know she's not trying to secure? Stop it. We can't pretend like there aren't two very irresponsible people, for my opinion, here in this situation. Number one, the men who you guys will look at a lot of times and think like, oh, he's just drowning in it. Yeah, he's drowning in a lot of that and drama. Steady setting himself up to be broke like most athletes do. And yes, that still happens to athletes today, even though people try to deny it. And the baby loses out the most. The child loses out the most. Somebody else here said, accidentally, come on, man. This is just carelessness. Somebody else here says he is an embarrassment. They're both an embarrassment. They are both an embarrassment in this situation. And you could be someone who doesn't care, right? But the truth is, depression, anxiety, ADHD, all these mental illnesses that are increasing within children today stem from critical moments between the ages of 1 and 3 where children face abandonment. Our culture already isn't set up to have children spend the actual amount of time they need to spend with their parents for them to be healthy. But on top of that, you're out here being careless, trying to trap men and men who are messing with these women carelessly. It's unfortunate.
In 20 years, when Anthony Edwards is sitting down for his 30 for 30 interview on ESPN, I want to make sure that people don't forget how he treated his children at birth. Shout out to In Touch Weekly because they're giving us an update on Anthony Edwards and Aisha Howard's paternity case. In Touch Weekly is stating that Anthony Edwards' attorneys had scored a big win in their motion filed in the Los Angeles County Clerk of Courts. Now, the court granted a motion brought by Anthony where he had argued that California was the wrong state to determine child support for their daughter, Aubrey Howard, who was born in October of 2024. Just for reference, the reason why that motion was filed in the state of California is because California doesn't have a cap on child support, but states like Georgia do. So if Aisha would have been able to retain her case in California, well, there'd be no cap on how much child support she could get for that child. Now, Anthony alleged that Aisha lived in Georgia despite her claim in court that she moved to California before giving.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I just found out that Anthony Edwards is 23 years old. I'm over here doing just like, I quickly, while she was talking, I searched it. 23 years old. And this is how your life is this is how you're setting your life up. I mean, we need to speak candidly about these situations. And this vulture of a chick preyed on this man. I'm not saying he's some innocent person. No, he's an adult too. But she knew what she was doing. How old is she? Miss Coffee, how old is Aisha Howard?
Aisha Howard, also known as Little Miss Golden, is a 39-year-old social media influencer and entrepreneur from Atlanta, Georgia. She has a son named Jason with rapper Lil Baby. In October 2024, she gave birth to a daughter, Aubrey Summers, and NBA star Anthony Edwards has filed a petition for paternity and child support regarding Aubrey.
Wow. She secured another bag. This seems to be the play. This seems to be the play with a lot of these Instagram IG thoughts, 304s, is spend your life just selling your cheeks left and right. And at the end of it, because you know that men lack discipline, especially young men. And when they finally get to a point of position and power where they're making some money, you know they're not looking to build legacy and a family and so on and so forth. So you know you can undermine them, convince them to smash you raw, no protection, right? We're not even going to talk about the craziness of the STD, so on and so forth. But you know you can set yourself up for life by getting one of these dudes to bust inside of you and you having their baby. It was a play. It was all, I'm convinced now that this was the plan from the very start, 100% it was planned.
Giving birth to Aubrey. Aubrey was born in California, and Anthony claimed that Aisha delivered the child in LA and filed her case in California in an attempt to score higher child support from him. And Anthony's lawyers argued that what she had done was unjustifiable and a bad faith attempt to obtain a higher child support order. Aisha's conduct of manufacturing a false reality and using the party's child for financial gains should not be tolerated. The judge ruled that California lacked jurisdiction regarding child support, which means the decision will likely go to the judge presiding over Anthony's case in Georgia. The LA judge did set a hearing for March 20th, so that's coming up pretty soon, to determine if custody and visitation of Aubrey will be set by California courts. Anthony wrote in his declaration to the judge that Aisha and I have one minor child together, Aubrey Howard. Paternity was recently established through DNA testing. I am not seeking custody or visitation of Aubrey. Therefore, the only issue to resolve is financial. It's just so hard here, just reading it. Like, I know it's a court case, but it's hard reading it because it's like these are real people. Like Aubrey Howard, his daughter is a real person. And when his daughter gets older, she's going to read those court documents hearing that her father wanted absolutely no visitation or any custody of her at all.
And she's also going to read that her mother was involved in adult entertainment, probably doesn't plan to try and seek someone who wants to be a father for her in her life, unless if she raises someone with a type of stability and healthy decision making as she makes, then yes, she's just going to be as delusional. I'm not trying to minimize at all. You guys know, at the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for anybody who's here except for this child, but it's not just going to be, unless the child is brainwashed and listens to lies only, it's not just going to be horrible feelings towards the father for deciding he wants nothing to do with her.
And I understand that people are going to come into the comment section saying, well, that's the mom's fault. He told her he didn't want a child, and he told her that that child would be fatherless, and she continued on with having that child. But at the same time, he also had a duty and a responsibility to have protected sex.
This is true.
He also didn't do that either. So he also knew that there was a chance that having unprotected sex could lead to a child being born. And he still took that risk. And now here are the consequences of that risk. After he had made that response, Aisha and her attorneys wrote back and said, from that point on, after she had disclosed that she was pregnant, Anthony never reached out to me to inquire about my well being, the well being of our child, or any need I had during my pregnancy. I did not receive any support, emotional, financial, or otherwise, throughout the entire duration of my pregnancy. Of course, too, she also has a duty and a responsibility, but be in mind, she fulfilled her duty and responsibility. She gave birth to the child.
This chick here this woman here in this video is just as lost. I'm sorry. How that statement of she fulfilled her responsibility when she's a 304 who's 40 years old out here preying on a 23-year-old is insane. Insane. And no, I'm not putting this in the category of she needs to be locked up for taking advantage. No. He knew exactly the consequences involved. But she did not fulfill her role. Otherwise, she would be married to a man who wants a family and to start children, instead of being a 304. Ridiculous.
Of course, she's older, so there's a cautionary tale about trying to trap a man. You understand what I mean? But like at the end of the day, their child is going to read these court documents, and it's going to reflect a lot about how a father just abandoned her.
No, it's not. We're going to make sure she gets held to the truth. There will be coffee served. These videos will be found. Support the coffee pot, subscribe. Oh yeah, we're here to capture future content. Right. I'll stop until, it makes sense to, but right now it doesn't.
Anthony Edwards petitioning the court to legally be a deadbeat is so... I fear he may have just unlocked something. Petitioning the court and saying, let's make sure this is my baby. I want to do a DNA test. But, okay, that's my baby. I don't want to see it nor hear from it. Here's your child support check. I fear he may have unlocked something. These are doing y'all in. Hold on. It's not funny. It's not funny because I do feel like everybody should be raising their kids, but like if I didn't even know you could legally abandon your kids. He said, okay, that's fine. Sign that paperwork for me. Like when he said, I hate you because you bring in the world a baby into the world who's not gonna have no dad, he meant that. He meant the out of that. If say what you mean to me, what you say was a person, it would be Anthony Edwards. He meant that shit. I don't feel bad for any adult involved because we all, saw the text messages. She knew what it was.
Right.
And I don't necessarily think that this is bothering her, to be honest. I think this is ideal. You leave me alone, I leave you alone. You never get to see my baby. I never have to co-parent and I get the check still. I think in her mind, she probably won.
I want you to really just think about what's happening right now, right? You have thoughts out here, 304s, who are using unborn children as a means to secure the bag. This is not in a way where two people are coming together and agreeing to be in a healthy relationship and they're going to be there for that child. No. We're talking about money-hungry, used-up chicks out here and men who have no discipline at all sexually, who are setting themselves up, making careless decisions, women capitalizing on those men, and the person who's going to be hurt the most is the child. There will be therapy sessions. There'll be mental illnesses that you don't speak that into existence. Listen, some of you really don't understand how real this is. Featured here is a social worker turned psychoanalyst. This is a video that I think everybody who watches my channel would actually enjoy, and you should go check it out on the Diary of a CEO. It's titled Child Attachment Expert. We are stressing newborns and it's causing ADHD, hidden dangers of daycare. Now, she goes into a lot here in this video, but she touches on some very key points that plainly outline the negative effects of creating these households. I mean, this is like the boring stuff, right? This is real life. This is the trauma this child will go through after it comes into this world, and it's wondering why it has so many challenges and issues without a father. This has been studied. Ms. Coffey, can you summarize this video's key points, please?
In this video, psychoanalyst and parenting expert Erica Commissar emphasizes the critical impact of a mother's physical and emotional presence on a baby's developing brain. According to Commissar's perspective, children benefit in different ways from having both a mother and a father actively involved in their early lives. The mother's role centers on providing consistent, empathic nurturing, soothing, and security, while fathers often help children learn to regulate excitement and aggression, encouraging exploration and risk-taking in a supportive way. When one parent is absent or unable to fulfill this function, children may miss out on crucial aspects of emotional development, such as the regulation of stress, the capacity for healthy aggression or play, and the sense of security that helps them navigate social and emotional challenges. As a result, they can be more prone to behavioral issues, anxiety, or difficulties bonding with others later in life.
Briefly explain the worst possible case scenario in the situation that that child lacks those two parents, or just one.
In the most difficult scenarios where a child is missing one or both parents' emotional support, the child can grow up feeling fundamentally unsafe in the world, unable to regulate their emotions or trust others. This may manifest as aggressive or self-destructive behavior, unstable relationships, anxiety, and a heightened vulnerability to mental health issues. Without consistent nurturing to offer security and guidance, to help manage impulses and foster independence, the child may struggle to form healthy attachments later on, leading to an increased risk of academic problems, trouble with the law, or ongoing emotional distress well into adulthood.
All right, so that's that. And I think people need to hear those points because I think many times it's taken way too lightly.
Edwards told that lady before that baby was here. Before that baby was here, he said that baby gonna be fatherless. Y'all saw the same messages I saw. Now why the hell y'all bringing it up again? Y'all talking about, he said he don't want no visitation with the baby. Duh. Bro, can y'all start believing these men when they say they're not gonna be there? Like, why are we at the surprise? We saw the messages.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying he's right or wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he told her, I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be there. Now the whole world is at the surprise because at court he said he don't want no visitation, he don't want no custody.
I think whether he's right or wrong depends on your values in life. For myself personally, there's no way I would have a child out here and I wouldn't take care of it. Even if it came from a horrible situation, that's me, right? Doesn't mean I'm better than you, but in my world, that is the right thing to do for that child. It's not about me being better than anybody else. I'm telling you, I'm being very honest. There's no way I can have a child out here who needs a father and I wouldn't be there to help that child out. Now, there are men who they'll sleep well at night. They don't care. The stress of dealing with that woman is just too much, and it is what it is. When it comes to the principles and values I uphold in my life, that to me is the wrong thing to do. The same thing goes for the woman. In that situation, for her to even follow through with a child, for her to even follow through in pursuing a man who obviously told you they don't want kids, that wasn't the first time. When he tweeted that publicly or texted that or whatever that wasn't the first time he told her that. She knew that. She knew he didn't want any kids. She is wrong as well and has set that daughter up for struggle and challenge. Lastly, I think it's really interesting that we are in the type of situation in this life where a woman at any time can decide because a man is broke, you know what, I don't want to follow through with this child, right? She has freedom of choice. And if you think that's horrible and women can't choose, then you're evil if you think she can't choose to delete that baby. But when a man says, I don't want anything to do, he's not even wanting to delete it. He's not even wanting to delete it. He just says, hey, I don't want anything to do with it. You think he's more evil? There's some hypocrisy there. Of course, guys, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you as always, and listen to my soon to be married and engaged men. Head over to fathershaverights.com and access the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. That's if you plan to get married in the near future or you're engaged and plan to get married soon. Head over there and capitalize on that free legal information for you. It's a guide put together with expert attorneys, walking you step by step, showing you how you can draft a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement for you from yours truly. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.